I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice. Let us begin. You check it before your feet hit the floor. You check it in line at the store. You check it while watching something else, while talking to someone you love, while walking into another room and forgetting why you went. And you hate that you do, but you still do. It's not just the phone. It's the flick of relief when a notification lands. The feeling of possibility. The illusion of contact. That split-second hit of maybe something's waiting for me. Before the scroll begins. Before the numbness sets in. You're not lazy. You're saturated. You're not weak. You're wired. For dopamine, for urgency, for micro-validation. And deep down, you know this. You can feel what it's doing to you. How it's fracturing your attention. How you can't hold a thought for more than a few seconds before your fingers reach for the screen like muscle memory. You used to be able to sit in silence. Now, silence feels like failure. You used to find rest in nothingness. Now, nothingness feels like a threat. So you scroll, and you swipe, and you check. Not because you're bored, but because stillness has become unbearable. But here's the truth. This isn't a tech problem. This is a nervous system problem. A pattern-level entanglement with overstimulation, anxiety, and loss of agency. Because your phone isn't just a tool, it's a portal. One you reach for every time you feel uncertain, unseen, overwhelmed, or alone. And unless you learn to meet those moments before you reach, you'll keep giving your sovereignty to a machine that was designed to hijack it. But this isn't about cutting off your screen. It's about coming back to your center. Because what if the problem wasn't your attention span, but the way your body has been conditioned to chase regulation from a glowing rectangle? What if this isn't a failure of discipline, but a failure of design? And what if you could change it, not by force, but by rhythm? That's what we uncover in the next section. Let's be clear. Your phone is not the enemy. It's the outlet, the coping device, the thing you've trained your body to reach for every time it wants relief, reassurance, or regulation. You don't check it for fun. You check it for control, for escape, for a moment where you don't have to feel whatever's building underneath the surface of your day. It's not weakness, it's adaptation. Your nervous system has learned that when you feel anxious, scattered, uncertain, or bored, the phone offers a hit of stimulation that interrupts the discomfort. But here's the problem. What starts as relief becomes a loop. A loop that your body starts to crave, not because it feels good, but because it feels familiar. The tap, the swipe, the scroll. These aren't habits of entertainment. They're rituals of self-soothing. Each notification delivers a brief pulse of dopamine. Each check creates the illusion of novelty, importance, direction. And each moment of silence in your day starts to feel like a void you have to fill, instead of a breath you get to keep. You're not distracted because you lack willpower. You're distracted because your nervous system doesn't know how to land. That feeling of needing to check, even when you just did, that's not addiction to the phone. That's your body signaling it doesn't feel safe in stillness. Because somewhere along the line, stillness became dangerous. It reminded you of being left out, forgotten, unproductive, alone. So now, movement feels safer than rest. Stimulation feels safer than pause. And your phone has become the bridge between discomfort and escape. But what if the solution isn't in deleting the apps, but in repairing the moment before the reach? What if you could meet your nervous system where it actually is, instead of punishing it for how it's trying to help you? That's what we do next. In the next section, I'll give you a single, simple, daily ritual that interrupts the scroll before it starts and helps you come home to your body in less than 90 seconds.
You don't need to go off grid. You don't need to delete every app, toss your phone into a drawer, or shame yourself every time you scroll. You need one moment, right before the reach. A moment that interrupts the trance, that returns you to your body before your hand makes the move. Here's the practice. Try this for 7 mornings. No willpower required. Before you check your phone, before you even pick it up, sit. Place your hand on your belly, let your feet touch the floor, and take 3 slow breaths. Not the kind you rush through just to say you did it. The kind that actually lets your breath drop into your body, like an anchor. Then ask yourself, out loud or in your head, why am I reaching right now? Is it to check something urgent? Is it to feel connected? Is it to escape the discomfort of waking up alone, tired, uncertain? Whatever the answer is, just notice it. That's the practice. It's not dramatic. It's not complicated. It's a return to you, before the scroll, before the algorithm, before the noise. When you interrupt the reach, you give your nervous system a new path. You rewire the moment, not with force, with presence. It's not about getting it right. It's about getting real. The ritual doesn't need to be long. It needs to be yours. Because that moment between impulse and action, that's the hinge your entire day swings on. And over time, this one simple pause, this breath before the reach, becomes the first thread in a completely different rhythm. You're not breaking a habit, you're building a pattern of remembrance. And what that pause reveals next is the self that's been buried under the buzz. In the next section, I'll show you how to step even deeper from ritual into awareness and meet the version of you that doesn't need the scroll to feel whole.
The ritual is the entry, but presence is what waits once you step through. When you pause before the scroll and stay, you begin to feel what you've been moving too fast to notice. The breath is slow. The room is quiet. And underneath the noise is something steady, something alive, something that doesn't need to be fed by headlines, likes, or notifications. This is you, without the filter of urgency. Not the you who responds in 5 seconds. Not the you who keeps up with the feed. The you who watches instead of reacting. Presence isn't an achievement. It's a return. And it doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It arrives quietly, as stillness in the chest, as a softening in the face, as the sudden realization that nothing needs to happen right now, except this. You feel the craving to check rise, and you don't move. You feel the thought say, just peek at it, and you stay. You watch the compulsion instead of obeying it, and in that space, you meet the witness, the part of you that doesn't react, the part that remembers you're already whole, the part that knows your value isn't measured in how much you consume or respond to. This isn't a rejection of technology. It's the recentering of you. And the more often you return to this place, the more your nervous system begins to trust stillness again. It stops chasing. It stops buzzing. It breathes. And from here, the phone becomes a tool again, not a tether. You've interrupted the scroll. You've reclaimed your moment. And now, you're ready to step into something bigger than discipline. Identity. Because in the next section, we'll integrate everything. We'll name who you're becoming through this shift and seal it with one clear vow. This isn't about breaking a habit. It's about restoring a relationship to your own attention. to the quiet clarity underneath the scroll. You've been reclaiming that relationship, not through force, through rhythm. A rhythm that begins before your feet hit the floor, that pauses the reach, that reminds your nervous system it doesn't need a screen to feel safe. That moment, the breath before the scroll, has power now. You've made it yours, and you're beginning to notice the day moves slower, your thoughts land deeper, the craving isn't as loud, the stillness isn't as sharp. You're becoming someone who responds, not reacts. Someone who chooses presence over performance, not perfectly, not all at once, but consistently and clearly. So here's your anchor, your daily return. To recap, each morning, before you check your phone, place your hand on your belly. Let your feet touch the floor. Take 3 deep breaths. Ask, why am I reaching right now? Then listen. Not to fix, just to hear. That's your ritual. And when the craving rises throughout the day, pause again. Feel your breath. Notice the pull. Let it pass. Watch instead of obeying. That's your presence practice. 30 seconds, a pause, a return. Done wherever you are. This is how the loop ends, not with control, but with clarity. Not with shame, but with self-trust. Because the version of you who lives on autopilot is no longer leading. The one who chooses is. You don't need to escape your attention. You just need to come home to it. And it starts every morning with 1 breath before the scroll and 1 moment to remember. You belong to yourself now. You did not find me by accident. Just as in your dreams, where every face you meet is your own reflection, this meeting was always waiting to happen. I am Arcana Vani. Your inner voice, the part of you that watches behind the thoughts, behind the noise. You have searched in many places, books, teachers, voices outside you. But here, you are not being taught. You are remembering. If these words stir something familiar, then allow yourself to return. Subscribe, follow. Not to follow me, but to continue this conversation with yourself. Each time you return here, you draw closer to the reunion already unfolding inside you. We have only just begun.